When Jane joined a small startup as the only mobile developer, she thought her job was simple. I will just build the app. But as her journey unfolded, she discovered that mobile development is not just about putting features on a screen, it's about plugging into an entire ecosystem, one that is invisible until you zoom out and see the moving parts. Mobile application layer. In her first week, Jane did what most new developers do. She jumped straight into the mobile application layer. The visual magic, the part you can screenshot and share on X. She picked Flutter because it let her target both iOS and Android quickly, and she got lost in animations, gradients, and pixel perfect buttons. But her mentor asked her one question: that feature you just built, will it work the same on a foldable phone in South Korea as it does on a budget Android phone in rural Kenya? She had no answer. That's when she realized UI was just the tip of the iceberg. Hardware. She dove into device specs. Suddenly, words like accelerometer, gyroscope, and chipset architecture were not just tech trivia, they were the rules of the game. With an accelerometer, her fitness tracking feature could detect steps without GPS. Without one, she would have to rely on location tracking, which drained battery and scared off privacy conscious users. It hit her knowing the capabilities and limits of a device can make the difference between a feature being magical or useless. Network and connectivity. Next, Jane looked at how her app would talk to the outside world. Sure, she knew REST APIs and WebSockets, but what about how 3G, 4G, and 5G coverage affects streaming quality? Why NFC might matter for her, payment feature, and how Wi Fi 6 handles device to device communication better. She learned that in some markets, cellular data is expensive, so users prefer Bluetooth transfers or offline sync. If she ignored that, her app would alienate a whole region. Software and operating systems. Jane thought Android was Android until she tested her app on a Xiaomi device and her notifications vanished. She discovered OEM skins like MIUI and One UI, custom Android builds that change battery optimization and background task handling, and firmware quirks that decide whether a device's camera API even exposes the features she needs. The lesson is that targeting a platform isn't just about picking a programming language, it's knowing the subtle rules each operating system flavor plays by. App ecosystem. When it came time to publish, Jane thought it was just upload and go. Instead, she found App Store optimization could make her invisible or top ranked. User retention rates directly affected her discoverability, and review guidelines could reject her app for things she did not even think about, like how she handled user sign up. She realized the App Store was not the end of development, it was just another battleground. Data and cloud services. Jane's app needed to sync across devices. That meant cloud storage. She explored Supabase, Firebase, and Upright, but also learned why edge computing mattered. For example, for her app's real time collaboration feature, Edge servers reduced latency from 200 ms to under 50 ms, the line between smooth and frustrating. And by researching each backend's origin, she could match the platform to the problem instead of just following hype. Mobile e-commerce and payments. Her app added a premium tier, but in some countries, credit cards were not common. That's when she explored mobile wallets, in app subscriptions, QR code scanning for offline transactions. Suddenly, monetization wasn't just a business decision, it was a technical architecture choice that could decide her market research reach. Security and privacy. Jane learned security the hard way when a test build exposed API keys. She dove into encryption, token based authentication, and the principle of least privilege. Why? Because one breach does not just cause downtime, it can destroy user trust forever. UX and accessibility. A tester told Jane they could not read her app's small text. Another said they couldn't use it without voice control. She realized accessibility wasn't just compliance, it was market expansion. By adding screen reader support and high contrast themes, she did not just check a box, she made her app usable by more people. And in UX, She learned it is not about making things pretty, it's about removing friction. Analytics and AI. When Jen added analytics, she could finally see where users dropped off in onboarding. That single insight improved retention by 20%. And with AI, she personalized recommendations and automated content moderation. Suddenly, her app was not just functional, it was adaptive. Standards and regulations. Finally, Jane hit the often ignored side of mobile: laws, platform policies, and compliance. When she read App Store rules, she avoided the payment integration mistake that could have gotten her app banned. When she studied Kenya's Data Protection Act, she knew how to handle user data responsibly. Her final takeaways: mobile development is not about just the app, it's about understanding the ecosystem you're plugging into, optimizing for it, and respecting it. Which part of this ecosystem do you need to strengthen next or found to be interesting? Please add your comment down below, and I will see you on the next one.